Okay, folks, welcome along to Beachlands Speedway for this, which is, of course, going to be one of the rounds of the Southern Sprint Car Series for 2021. And, of course, a big field of just about everything else. Actually, if we had a look around the pits, it's absolutely chocker. So a big welcome goes out to those people that are tuned up for the start of our meeting, which is due to kick off at about 5 p.m. Tonight. So let's have a wee look around. Of course, we'll just move around here with Stiffy. You can see the pits are absolutely chocker. The sprint cars at the moment are just about to do their warm-up run that's happening now. And, of course, you can see here, if you do a big pan around the pits, everywhere. There is no spots left in this entire pit. You can actually see over there beside the club rooms that Andy Erskine's trailer is actually parked up beside the club rooms and stuff. So you see over there the ITM trailer. So Andy's got nowhere to park, so they've just chucked him right outside the club rooms. That's how busy this place is going to be tonight. And joining me this weekend, we've got the original commentator that should really be here all the time, and it is Stephen, mate. Are you upstairs looking forward to this meeting?
I certainly am, Jace, and warm welcome to you guys from the Pits TV here at Beachlands Speedway, the Rock FM Beachlands Speedway. Huge night of racing. The sprint car field absolutely stacked here, Jace.
Absolutely, mate. And, of course, you've been away a wee bit too, playing around with some rally cars and bits and pieces. We've heard some stuff that you're going pretty good on that as well, so be pretty pleased to see a big field of, everything really, isn't it? Sprint cars. There's 20 sprint cars here tonight.
Yeah. No, you're right. I have been away. I haven't done much commentary at all this season. A couple of rallies in my Mark II Escort clashed with the shows here at Beachlands, but we won't go into that. Plenty of pace, but DNF both events. Yeah, no worries. I've actually bought myself a street stock, Jace, so there you go.
That'll be interesting, won't it? Well, we're going to hand it over to you to do all your intros and bits and pieces for the night, and we'll catch up, no doubt, throughout the course of the evening. Have a good call, mate.
Fantastic, thank you, and appreciate it. Welcome to everybody here in the arena here at the Rock FM Beachlands Speedway, and of course, everybody around the country, around the world on the Pits Media. Jason and the team do such a wicked job. They were in Nelson last weekend. The big super stock deal up there. Issues with the van on the way home. They were stranded on the Kilmog north of Dunedin. So full credit to all the sponsors, everybody that looks after the Pits Media. They really bring Speedway to another level here in New Zealand. As Jason mentioned, 20 sprint cars here to do battle for a round of the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. And it is a stacked field. X1NZ and Jamie Duff and the 19 car, the Procrete supported sprint car down there at turn number 3 and 4. Talent the whole way down the list. What about Mr. Excitement? Stephen Taylor, Wellington man, running the 9N car, the Sullivan family car, I do believe. An absolute flyer in the sprint cars. The 33T machine, Paul Horrell. Naming rights sponsor for the series is Paul Horrell. Had a huge wheel stand last time out here at Beachlands Speedway. Carried the length of the front straight, come down on the infield. A little bit of front suspension damage, I do believe. Dug a trench with the push bar on the back. What about the 78 car from Central Motor Speedway? Brent Collier, one to watch. There's Scotty Jason Scott, the 88T machine from Central Motor Speedway, Edge Parts and Performance. Looks after a hell of a lot of new competitors in this series and really is breathing life into the sprint car grade is Jason Scott, ex-marathon jet boat racer. What about the young fella, Connor Rangi from Nelson, the 57, one to watch, Collision Centre, heavy diesel, looking after the 57 of Connor Rangi. Chester Colvin in the 42 car. Central Southland Excavating on the wing, and Central Southland Excavating, a sponsor of the event and a sponsor of the Pits Media. The Tricky Mouse 21T of Shannara Stronach, 6-shooter competitor is Shannara, making the step up into the wings. And 410 cubic inch sprint cars. Ray Bourne, good to see, the 95 car from Ruapuna Speedway making the trip south. Ray Bourne, Mopar power in that machine. Avon Insurance Brokers on the wing, and Ray Bourne, many times a feature winner with the War of the Wings series in the South Island. Fetu Taiwa in the 6T, ex-Vodafone Warriors professional rugby league player, there's a story. Hayden Johnson, a newcomer into the grade in the 28T machine. So these 410 sprint cars idling round, just a bit of an engine heat. The 15C, Steve Jr., that's Steve Duff Jr., second generation racer, younger brother to Jamie Duff. He's got methanol running through his veins, had a major terminal engine failure last time out at 3 and 4 here at Beachlands Speedway. There was a conrod on the clay. So good to see that car back and running. Oscar Harcourt feels he's got enough temperature in the Value Cars 7C machine. Speaking of Bournes, Caleb Bourne, the 59C, ex-War of the Wings champion. BMG Group on the wing of that car, one to watch, another with Mopar power under the bonnet. There's the Procrete, Jamie Duff, X1NZ, awesome livery on that car this season. Jamie Duff, extremely tough to beat here at Beachlands Speedway over many, many years. Wild in a go-kart back in the day was Jamie Duff. He was a serial crasher, but aggressive as hell, and got into sprint cars at an early age. Speaking of go-kart races, Jaden Dodge was another one, very, very good back in the day. Trade and Post Christchurch 7T, Edge Parts and Performance on the wing. There's a theme. You'll see that right through this field. Jaden Dodge, one to watch. Done plenty of racing in midget cars and in sprint cars in the North Island. Bay Park Speedway and Tauranga was his base there for a couple of seasons. The 43T machine. Josh Buchanan, winner last time out here at Beachlands Speedway with the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. So he's got some heavy, heavy hitters to contend with. And there we have it. A warm welcome to the Rock FM Beachlands Speedway, the Central Southland Excavating, the Pits TV, Invercargill, Floor and Extra, Southern Sprint Car Series night. Of sprint car action on the agenda. 7 races in total, of course. 3 heats for group number 1, 3 heats for group number 2, and then a feature final at the end of the night. 20 laps the distance, with group 1 on the inside row, group 2 on the outside. So the top newcomers will be in with a shot in this feature final later in the night. Ross McKinnell in the 96i machine is going to start inside of the front row. The Duff man, the 19C machine, Jamie Duff, front row. Jason Scott, Ray Bourne share the second row. Talent stacked through this one. The young fella, Oscar Harcourt from Christchurch inside of row number 3. Connor Rangi, another young charger. Multiple feature winner, Connor Rangi, around the South Island. Then Mr. Excitement, Stephen Taylor from P7. Caleb Bourne, ex-War of the Wings champion Caleb Bourne. Chester Colvin from P9. Fetu Taiwa from 10. And another young star in the making, Josh Buchanan from Central Motor Speedway, rounds out the field here for heat number 1. Southern Sprint Car Series Brought to you by Civil Construction. Connor Rangi has pulled to a halt opposite the pit gate, so that may well be a 3-minute bell. Civil Construction. Southern Sprint Car Series about to get loud here at the Rock FM. Beachlands Speedway racing now, and Jamie Duff to the outside, early doors. The Procrete machine will be hard to peg back. Ray Bourne looking high side. What about Connor Rangi down the back straight? Sends one up the inside. Head front locked on the pole line. Ray Bourne to P2. Does McKinnell down the front stretch. Oh, Connor Rangi in the back of McKinnell there at 1 and 2. There's a car parked down through the field. The bonnets come up on Jason Scott's car. He pulls to the infield. Jamie Duff has checked out, shut the gate. He's gone. Ray Bourne now with Connor Rangi chasing him hard for second and third position. Josh Buchanan, rodeo riding down at turn number 2. That was ugly. Stephen Taylor working high side around McKinnell. So the 9N car looking really, really sharp, flies and down the back straight. Jamie Duff has absolutely bolted. He's got a straightaway lead over Ray Bourne. Look at Stephen Taylor. There's a nasty bump forming down at 1 and 2. Taylor's a wheelman. He'll deal with that. Rangi goes low side. This is for second. Taylor coming. So the battle for second about to get white hot here at Beachlands Speedway. Jamie Duff's gone. Ray Bourne runs second from Rangi. Then Taylor on a tear. Oh, Taylor on 2 wheels. That was massive. A big bicycle at 3 and 4. Keeps it on its feet. A aggressive race car driver, Stephen Taylor. They call him Mr. Excitement. And you're seeing why there, folks. Stands the front wheels up, does the 9N car. Keep your eyes on the 9 machine tonight, folks. Aggressive as you like. Ray Bourne holding on to second. Big bicycle there from Rangi. So Stephen Taylor glues it down low side. Charging in 4th position at the moment is Taylor. The Duff man picks his way through the lappers, puts another one on McKinnell with a 13.25. Quick time for Jamie Duff. That's flying around here. Connor Rangi's come to a stop at 3 and 4. We go yellow. Well, I'll catch my breath. Jamie Duff had checked out well and truly. Rangi's come to a stop at 3 and 4. A couple of nasty bicycles at both ends of the racetrack. Jamie Duff, quick time, 13.252. That's humming in the Procrete 19C machine. X1NZ, of course, the Duff man. Awesome new white and green livery on that car for this season after so many years of red and white. Unfortunate for Connor Rangi. Got high and wide. Out towards the wall and will take no further part in this one. Well, Stephen Taylor, what about the wheel work at 3 and 4 for Stephen Taylor? He stood it right up on 2 wheels. That'll be a wild replay, and I'm sure we'll make for some ridiculous photographs of the underside frame rails on the 9N car. Connor Rangi, unfortunate to see, to the infield. So 4 cars on the infield. Caleb Bourne, Jason Scott, Fetu Taiwa, who didn't face the green. Now, of course, Connor Rangi, who was battling, he was running in 3rd, all over the back of Ray Bourne. Stephen Taylor will taste one here, folks. The 9N machine. Here's the replay. Got right up on 2 wheels. How about that one from Stephen Taylor, the collision centre 9N machine. Almost needed a collision centre. That was almost a crumpled wing for real. Jamie Duff leads them to green. Will go again. 12 laps the distance. Racing once more. Stephen Taylor looking high side on Ray Bourne. Taylor again. Good drive down the back straight. Had to check out of that one. Jamie Duff's going to bring this one to the flag. Oscar Harcourt to the inside. Low side on Stephen Taylor. Taylor shuts the door. Harcourt's under the pole line. Ray Bourne checked it up. This is getting wild. Heat race action here at Beachlands Speedway. White flag, 1 to run. Stephen Taylor on the low side of Ray Bourne. finding some good real estate. Will he get the drive down the back straight? Rayborn checks him up. Taylor, one last ditch. Round the top at 3 and 4. Gets low side. He'll come to the flag for second. Jamie Duff checked out. Did the job in the 19C machine off the front. But what about Stephen Taylor, folks? That was awesome. Pay him off, folks. Jamie Duff gets the chocolates. Heat number 1, the Procrete. Concut supported 19C X1NZ, of course, second generation sprint car wheelman.
Are you building a new commercial business or home? Or is it time that your existing premise has had a repaint anywhere in the South Island? Then Anderton Decorators have you covered. From floor to ceiling, wall to roof, Anderton Decorators offer the latest techniques, equipment and technology to make even the hardest tasks seem simple. Anderton Decorators also has the expert team to take the frustration out of your next project. Call Shane today on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators. We have you covered.
Enjoying the show. Group number 2 for the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. A couple of talking points in this one, of course, the 6 machine of Fetu Taiwa didn't take fire in the previous one, so he's going into group number 2. Andy Erskine, Shannara Stronach share the front row from Hayden Johnson, John Seabright, Gentle Annie, the 14T. 410 sprint cars. Of course, Steve Duff Jr., who had a terminal engine failure last time out here at Beachlands Speedway, shares the third row with the accountant, Matthew Anderson, who's also had engine trouble. Paul Horrell, Jaden Dodge, 7th and 8th to face the green. And Bones Collins in the 78T machine. So that is exciting. Bones Collins, of course, a extremely highly regarded track racer. Getting a taste of sprint car racing. It'll be interesting to see how he takes to it. But it's Erskine and Stronach leading the field to green. Here we go, folks. Southern Sprint Car Series. Green and racing. Erskine down low side at turn 1 and 2. Bicycles a little bit. Too wide action down through the field. Jaden Dodge, though, like a bullet from a gun. He's ripping around the top of the racetrack as Jaden Dodge. Juiced up there, look at him right up by the wall. Jaden Dodge on an absolute tear in the 7 car. Andy Erskine leading the way. The accountant gets around Gentilani John Seabright. But it's all Jaden Dodge for pace at the moment, running down our race leader. Matthew Anderson, he overcooked it at turn number 2, lost his drive. This is the battle for the lead though. Andy Erskine, the Power Farming 91T machine, doing all he can to hold off a rampaging Jaden Dodge in the 7T machine. High side, too wide for the race lead at 3 and 4. Jaden Dodge fires it down the front stretch. And comfortably draws away. So Jaden Dodge, fastest car on the racetrack. Other movers and shakers. Down through the field, the gas man, Steve Jr., working on the back of Shannara Stronach, running in 5th position. Paul Horrell spun it at 3 and 4, trying to get back onto the racing surface. So that was a little bit awkward for the 33 of Horrell. Of course, the civil construction supported machine. Paul Horrell gives a lot to this grade and a lot to this series. Jaden Dodge is checked out. The tear-offs are flying. The sprint cars are flying around Beachlands Speedway here, the Rock FM Beachlands Speedway. Jaden Dodge with the length of the straight advantage over a struggling Andy Erskine now, with the Menefee Trucking accountant Matthew Anderson in behind him. The Penrod supported 16 car is coming. Little bit one lane at the moment. Jaden Dodge, certainly a man on a mission. Jaden Dodge made light work of the lappers, Hayden Johnson and Bones Collins. White flag is flying now for the race leader, Jaden Dodge. Wings it into 1 and 2. Nicely down on the pole line, fastest car on the racetrack. And he's going to do it relatively comfortably to the checkers. The 7 machine of Jaden Dodge. And a good battle to the stripe between Matthew Anderson, who I think may have got there for second over the 91 of Andy Erskine. The screen tells me otherwise. Andy Erskine got home in second, folks, from the accountant. Steve Jr. in fourth, Shannara Stronach fifth. Hayden Johnson, Bones Collins rounded out the field with, of course, Fetu Taiwa back on the infield. Gentilani, John Severite in the powder line powder coating. Eye Signs in Invercargill supported 14 car with issues. But it was all about Jaden Dodge. The 7 car, the trade-in post. Sprint car of Jaden Dodge, untouchable in group number 2, Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series here at Beachlands.
Hi, Malcolm Nardo from Suck It Up. We specialise in hydro excavation in the Canterbury region, safe dig methods around services. Also we do septic tank cleaning, drain cleaning, CCTV over your pipes. If you want an excellent service, please check us out on Facebook.
Suck It Up Limited, 740 Marston Road, Christchurch. Call them 24 hours a day on 027 588 8809.
Hi, welcome to X Factor Cars, Southland's multi-award winning pre-owned dealership. Stockists of classic collectibles, V8s, family vehicles, trade vehicles and everything in between. Thinking American or Aussie muscle, family vehicle or custom? Think X Factor Cars.
Here we go, folks. Group number 1 for the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. An absolutely stacked field, taking fire at the moment. There's Fetu Taiwa in the 6 car, who's had issues. Both previous appearances we've seen from him tonight. The car struggling to take fire once more. So we do hope that Fetu can get those gremlins sorted in the 6T car to the infield. Lights go down. Chester Colvin has filled that spot. Interesting what the flagman makes of this. Chester Colvin's come forward to fill the front row. Racing now, green, and we are away. Caleb Bourne, the Mopar powered 59, wings into one, and number 2 streaks off down the back straight. Chester Colvin with a wheel stand. The Duff Man running in 4th. Oh, big up and over, Ross McKinnell. Jason Scott got together. We'll see that on the Invercargill floor in extra replay. But Ross McKinnell went for a ride, folks. Reds are on the Speedway. The crash crew gets over there. We ask the children stay back from the fence. Methanol in the tail tank of these race cars. Here's the replay. So McKinnell was low side on the racetrack. Sent it from the car park to McKinnell up the inside. Contact on Scotty Jason Scott, who from that view looked to be fairly innocent. McKinnell charged in. 2 cars fighting for the same piece of clay, folks. Racing deal. Young Oscar Harcourt checked up. And I believe he will take a restart with no damage on that machine. The same cannot be said for Ross McKinnell in the 96. Jason Scott's up in the fence. So both cars will be damaged, no question. Jason Scott, lucky not to go in harder than that on the top of the fence there. 12 laps to run. The green is in the air. Front row, Caleb Bourne, Nigel Colvin. Bourne gasses it up. We go racing again. So it's Bourne from Colvin. Josh Buchanan ripping the lip. Buchanan with a run down the back stretch. Jamie Duff lifts the fronts. Jamie Duff looks low side. Look at Stephen Taylor way up by the wall. What can he do in the 9 car? Racing around, Ray Bourne looking underneath Rangy now is Stephen Taylor. Jamie Duff's got around Buchanan. The Duff Man working low side on Nigel Colvin. Colvin just moves up the racetrack a little bit, checks the progress of Jamie Duff. Buchanan now coming under fire from Connor Rangy, who looks underneath him too wide for position. Jamie Duff into 2nd position, giving chase on our race leader, Caleb Bourne. Plenty of oil coming out of the Stephen Taylor machine. Hopefully it's just a bit of overflow from the oil tank on that car. You see that from time to time. The dry sump system breathing a little bit of excess oil out of that car. Hopefully it's nothing more serious than that. What about Jamie Duff at the front of this one, folks? He's run down Caleb Bourne for the lead. The 2 of those cars have checked out, and Jamie Duff is on an absolute tear running down the lead of this one. Stephen Taylor looking for racing room down the order, but it's all about these cars on screen. Caleb Bourne and the Duff Man, the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack. Then it's Colvin, Buchanan, Rangy, Taylor, Bourne. Stephen Taylor, the left front, looking over the pole line, trying to hold the car down low side on the racetrack. Slick groove through turn number 2. At this point, toward the end of the 2nd heat race for group number 1. The Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series always turns on. Excellent racing. Look at the Duff Man now, applying the blowtorch to Caleb Bourne. Bourne, though, checks away a little bit that time down the back stretch. White flag now, 1 to run. What can the Duff Man do? It's sorted in the front. It's going to be Caleb Bourne in the 59. Comes off at turn number 4 to take the checkers, does Caleb Bourne. Big slide job from Rangy on the final lap under Colvin, but couldn't keep that clamp down. So Rangy, a hard-nosed racer, threw the big slider off the end of the back stretch. Couldn't keep it underneath Colvin. Chester Colvin brought it home in 3rd position. But what about the pace at the front of that one? Caleb Bourne was untouched. Jamie Duff in the 19 car, run him down. Couldn't do much about it once he got there. Caleb Bourne. He was the War of the Wings Series champion a couple of seasons ago. The Rock FM Beachlands Speedway on the Pits Media. Central Southern Excavating, Invercargill, Flooring Extra in support.
Decorators are a long-established catering company covering the whole of the South Island who love to support their local community. If you require expert advice from design to application, then Shane has the expert team to ensure your next project is hassle-free with a professional finish. Floor to ceilings, walls to roof, inside, outside, commercial or residential. Let our team take the hassle out of your decorating. Give us a call now on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators, we have you covered.
The Pits Media Youth Mini Stock Challenge, ready to go green. Somebody yelling over my shoulder to turn the music down. I'm not in charge of that, but however, we'll go green with the Youth Saloon. Oh, Jesus. The Youth Mini Stock, the Pits Media Challenge, green now and racing. So it's Ella Colvin on the front row alongside the 5T, Trent Ainsley, so a couple of second generation racers. 72C machine goes to the infield. That's Emily Brooks, so that's unfortunate. It's all about Ella Colvin at the front, the 42 car from the 5T of Trent Ainsley. Too wide for the race lead. Ainsley gets there. A little bit of Nerf bar action. Ella Colvin in the 42. Couple of Central Motor Speedway youth mini stocks going at it. What about the 71 car? Amber Brooks from Woodford Glen Speedway running in third. Battles right through this one. Ainsley leading the way. Charging around the southern end of the racetrack. We've got a car on the fence there. I believe the 93 Samantha Sanford has come to a stop. We'll go yellow for that one. There's a road cone down at turn number 1. So that's a bit of fun also. But unfortunate there, the 93 T machine from Central Motor Speedway, Samantha Sanford, got high and wide through turn number 2, slapped the fence. A fair bit of damage. I'm sure, on the front of that car. George Headley was animated in the cockpit of the 17 machine, giving the 24 car of Michaela Colvin the big salute, perhaps to indicate left front damage on the 24. We'll go with that anyway, as we see the Invercargill Fluorine Extra replay here. The cause of the yellow, Samantha Sanford, high and wide, slapped the fence, rolled the right front wheel. I'm sure there'll be steering suspension damage on that mini stock. Of course, 1200cc Nissan Datsun A12 engines predominantly. Plenty of 3K Toyotas also. If you wonder why you don't see any Datsun 120Ys on the road these days, this is where they all went when they got too rusty. Of course, Datsun A12s, gearbox, diff, suspension, the whole 9 yards. Inside a mini stock car chassis. Of course, when this category was first introduced back in the day, it was adult grade and it was full contact. Dangerous as hell. The cars were top heavy. They would roll down the front straight. Some broken backs, all kinds of things going on in the adult mini stocks back in the day. We see the replay there that explains where the traffic cone came from that ended its life down there at turn number 1 on the inside. As I'm sure the lights will go down this time by Trent Ainsley leads the way. Lights are still flashing, so the starter's not happy that the field is in its appropriate order. We'll go round one more time. Trent Ainsley in the 5, Ella Colvin in the 42, Amber Brooks in the 71 car from Woodford Glen Speedway, and another Central Motor Speedway car, the 14T. Doesn't feature on my Ashley Harrington in the 14T machine. So plenty of young female competitors in the youth grades, good to see. Of course, the beauty of motor racing, your gender does not make any difference to your performance. And one of the things we love about motor racing, if you have the talent, you will be able to run at the front. Of course, for these youth competitors, also somebody to pay their bills goes a long way, but the big scheme of motor racing, certainly on the lower end of the pay scale, to get into this great sport of speedway. And the youth grades add to what is such a fantastic family sport. Lights are down this time. Trent Ainsley, second generation speedway racer, leads the field to green, and we go racing once more. They fan out. Ella Colvin looking up the inside in the 42 T machine. So lead change on the restart. Ella Colvin, like a thief in the night, takes the lead away from Ainsley. Amber Brooks runs third. We're 3 wide for 4th position. That's wild. The 8 car, Bailey Cooper, coming round the outside. Brooks in the 71. Now into 3rd position. Cooper in the 8 car, up high and wide. It's all about Ella Colvin at the front. Look at this battle. The Hulk in the middle of that one. The 68 cars, Jake Shearing working low side on the 47. And you'd throw a blanket over them as you would for the lead of this one. Ainsley, Colvin, they've swapped the lead once more. So Trent Ainsley back to the point, and it's still absolutely on in the midfield. Jake Shearing now making his way on the inside of Brooks. So Shearing now into third position. He was prominent in the opening heat race for the youth mini stock, the Pitts Media Challenge. Bit of bumper action there, the 14 of Ashley Harrington. Oh, that's going on. They're going on with it. Amber Brooks and Harrington. Ella Colvin to the front of this one once more. Too wide for the race lead. Ainsley, Colvin battling hard. Correction. Shearing and Colvin battling for second place. Ainsley's checked out a little bit. Couple of second lead. So it's on for second. Jake Shearing now ahead of Ella Colvin. 14 car of Harrington slowing down the back straight. That's a shame. Ashley Harrington was buying into this battle. But Trent Ainsley inside a quarter mile to run for Trent Ainsley. Makes his way down the back straight in the 5T car. Round turn number 4 for the last time. Trent Ainsley to the checkered flag, the 5T machine. Second generation. And what a great famous name in Speedway, the Ainsley family. Of course, the late Daryl Ainsley, who we remember well, ran the 5T prominently in saloons and in super saloons, and we miss him. But Trent Ainsley, the next generation. Jake Shearing did well to get into second. Ella Colvin, who led early, battled with Ainsley, comes home in third position. And that concludes heat number 2 for the Pitts Media Youth Mini Stock Challenge. It's Trent Ainsley will hold that flag high, and deservedly so. Matt Stewart gestures him to get a move on and celebrate that victory. Pay him off, folks. Trent Ainsley, Heat 2 winner for the Pitts Media Youth Mini Stock Challenge. Saloons waiting in the wings. Hope you're enjoying the show here at Beachlands Speedway and on the Pitts Media, wherever you may be. Awesome night of racing here at the Rock FM, Beachlands Speedway. Saloons next. Here we go, folks, here at Beachlands Speedway. This awesome field of Saloons is being led to the green by Dan Black in the 112, Aaron Andrews on the outside of the front row. What about wee Pete Dixon in the 161, the stealth house car? As we fly the green, just hearing it could well be Ashton Osborne back in his own car, the 161. I'll wait for confirmation on that. I think you're right, Jace. The helmet is different. I'm going to call it Ashton Osborne in the 161, working his way around the outside of Dan Black. So Aaron Andrews in the Hypermac car, ex-Daryl Ainsley car, as I mentioned earlier, being chased now by Ashton Osborne in the stealth, the 4-bar house car. It's got a slightly different engine configuration in that machine, being trialled by Speedway New Zealand. It's an LS variant of the Chevrolet small block. So something to think about in the future of this grade, whether or not they go to an LS-based engine. The 198, Josh Glover went spinner at turn 1 and 2. He's got himself refired. So he's going to become a lapper for our race leader, Aaron Andrews, very quickly. Spinner again at turn 4. McCallion's gone around at turn 2. We may go yellow for that one as he's parked broadside in the racetrack. Look out, hold your hats as the leaders come through. And the yellows are on. So Josh Glover is having a tough time of it in the WAE Engineering 198. Dave McCallion in that 26 machine. Battling for traction over at turn number 2. So it's Aaron Andrews leading the way from Ashton Osborne back in the stealth house car, the 161 from Woodford Glen Speedway. Of course, son of the 3-time New Zealand champion, the Big Mac, Mark Osborne. Super Saloons, of course. So Ashton Osborne, second generation. Josh Glover gets the 198 car refired. Possibly a little bit of damage on that machine. A replay of McCallion overcooking himself at turn number 2 on the slick patch. As Toemater makes his way back to the infield. Aaron Andrews will pace the field once more. We'll go green next time by here at Beachlands Speedway with the Saloons. Aaron Andrews, Ashton Osborne, Dan Black, Mark Newell, Matt Green, Shane Greer, Ryan Bennett the field. Then it's Darren McLeod. The Flying Scotsman's got the 10 car back out there for this one. Brodie Finlay, Paul Carr, Colin Smith on debut in the 8D machine. Yellows continue to flash. Perhaps this time by the lights will go down. So race control obviously not happy with the order of things out there at the moment. Lights went down, green and racing, so it was a late call to put the lights down. Half the field caught napping, but the leading 3 cars got away nicely. Aaron Andrews, Ashton Osborne, and Dan Black, the leading trio at the moment. Mark Newell running in 4th. Matt Green. Darren McLeod's car bucking around wildly at 3 and 4 that time in the Tirana. So Andrews, Ashton Osborne giving chase. Josh Glover pulls to the infield, so the 198 car not to his liking on debut. Josh Glover, Colin Smith's gone up the wall at 3 and 4. He's also on debut. We've got a car park at turn 2. It's all happening here in the Saloons. Shane Greer, Ryan Bennett will go yellow again. So we'll catch that one on the Invercargill Floor and Extra replay with the pits. There's a bit of a bonnet ride went on between the Greer Logging 33 and the 66 car of Ryan Bennett. It's an MV Motorsport built car, the ex-Terry Soper machine, I believe. So we'll catch it on the replay. So Shane Greer's overcooked himself. He's spun, cleaned up by Bennett, nowhere to go. Hopefully both cars will restart. But of course the 33 car of Greer, primary cause of that one, will run off the back. No question about that one. Just got stuck on that slick patch at 2. And around it went. Ryan Bennett with nowhere to go. Lights are down. Aaron Andrews leads the field once more to the green. Yellow's flashing. I must need my eyes checked. But no doubt about primary cause of that yellow. It was Shane Greer, hence why he's gone to the back of the field. And Ryan Bennett has retaken his position in behind Matt Green. Running in 6th position. The wild Darren McLeod in behind him in the Tirana, the 24. There's a couple of racing donuts up the side of the Flying Scotsman's car. The inside of the 10D machine. Racing again. So it's Aaron Andrews with Ashton Osborne now digging around the outside. Too wide for the race lead. Osborne gets a rocket launch down the back straight to take the lead in the stealth car. And he'll clamp it down in front of Aaron Andrews. Dan Black looking racy. The ex-Argent Scout and MV Motorsport. 112i Dan Black. Long-time street stock competitor Dan Black. Good to see him in a very, very competitive saloon car here. So it's a stealth leading a Hypermac, leading a couple of MV Motorsport cars. Aaron Andrews has something to say about the lead of this one, giving vigorous chase to Ashton Osborne. The 161 machine has come down the racetrack a little bit, made the move at high side. As they race to the white flag now. Mark Newell looking higher on the racetrack. That's for 4th and 5th. But this is for the lead, folks. Osborne, Aaron Andrews, nibbling away on the rear bar. Osborne again to the pole.
The St. Nicholas is a familiar sight around Bluff as she steams out to capture Can-Do Fishing's famous Bluff Kinner. Once caught, the Kinner is brought back to the purpose-built factory in Bluff where it is processed, packed and shipped fresh to you. But that's not all that Can-Do Fishing can do for you. Try some of their greenbone fish or delicious power products and you will soon see why seafood from the Bluff is world famous. So head to your local fish market or supermarket and ask for Can-Do Fishing Kinner, fish or power. Can-Do Fishing, there's nothing we can't do for you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Carpenter, driver of 85 GM, based out of Greymouth. I use wholesale tyres, coloured chrome rims on my car. If you're looking for something unique and different on your car, contact Wholesale Tyres to get these coloured rims. Or get a hold of them on Facebook at Wholesale Tyres, or go onto their website, which is www.wholesaletyres.net.nz. See you trackside.
Need coloured chrome rims? Wholesale Tyres. Good rims, better prices, great people.
Welcome back to Beachlands Speedway here on the pits. And of course here in the arena at the Rock FM Beachlands Speedway, looking an absolute picture. Sprint cars taking fire. The Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. Group 2, Heat 2. The accountant, Matthew Anderson and Hayden Johnson on the front row. Andy Erskine, Paul Horrell. Mr. Civil Construction himself, the second row. It's the gas man Steve Duff Jr. sharing the third row with Shannara Stronach. Steve Wright, Gentilani and Jaden Dodge. One to watch, of course, the 7 car of Jaden Dodge. Shares the front row with Hayden Johnson, who's a young man running out of Central Motor Speedway. One to watch in this one, the 7 car. Keep an eye on him, Jaden Dodge. The class of group number 2 here. Racing and away. So it's the accountant Anderson, 3 wide through turn number 1. There's a pile up. Gentilani, Sevrite piled into Erskine. Steve Jr. to the infield. Yellows are on. Unfortunate. We'll get the Invercargill Florin Extra replay with the pits on that one. As Horrell and Erskine got into it. Erskine went around, folks. So Erskine overcooked it. Duff with nowhere to go. Bubfar. And Sevrite ditto. So Sevrite with plenty of front end damage on that car. Erskine just hit that slick patch there. Horrell around the outside of him, might have taken some air off the wing. Sensitive race cars, these things. The old concertina effect. Erskine got a stab on the throttle there as at the point of impact. Nasty looking damage on the front of Sevrite's 14 car. Definitely some gnarly looking damage on the front of Sevrite's car. I think he'll wisely hang back from the field and just make sure that car is healthy. The lights are down, green in the air. We're going to take a start this time by. So it's Matthew Anderson, Hayden Johnson, the front row. Eyes on Jaden Dodge in the 7 car. Will run off the back. He'll look to pick his way through. Anderson, Johnson, 2 wide for the race lead off turn number 2. Down the back chute they run. Anderson, hit a slick patch and up the racetrack he went. Stronach's in the fence. Will go yellow. Erskine and Collins have run into each other down the front stretch, so that was a little bit gnarly. Erskine, I believe, flamed out, and Bones Collins had nowhere to go, so he's got fairly severe front wing damage on the 78 car. Stronach's in the wall at 3 and 4. As we look on the Pits Media replay, 3 cars ahead of Stronach hit that slick patch entry of 3, and up the track they went. Look at Anderson, big flat slide. Stronach the same, plus some more. Into the wall she went. So I dare say the right rear tyre, the right rear of that car will have a bit of damage on the Tricky Mouse 21T machine. Oh, Jaden Dodge has come to the infield, folks. The 7 car. So that's a dagger for Jaden Dodge. We're down to only 4 machines. Matthew Anderson leads the way. Paul Horrell slides across the slick at turn number 2. So Matthew Anderson just needs to bring this one home. Horrell's gone around upside down, Paul Horrell. It's a horror show here at Beachlands Speedway. There'll be none left. John Sevrite might get a win here, folks, at this rate. Paul Horrell's gone over. Hayden Johnson, unfortunate in that one. Nowhere to go, and we've called it, folks. No, I jumped the gun, sorry. The gate's open to get some tow trucks on the track. My mistake. So here's the replay. Horrell down at turn 3. Big spin across the slick at turn 3. Stood the front up. Poor old Hayden Johnson, nowhere to go. Pops a right front wheel in the chin there. Damages the wing. So Hayden Johnson, innocent bystander in that one. Paul Horrell will extract himself from the Civil Construction 33T. Pay him off, folks. Give him a wave down there, kids, at turn number 3. Lights are now down. So the accountant, Matthew Anderson, brings the field of 3 cars to the green for Group 2, Heat 2. Matthew Anderson gasses it up. Sevrite didn't take fire, so he'll idle this one home. Shannara Stronach, what can she do on a slick track? Anderson has his 410 absolutely singing out in front. No traction whatsoever off 2 or off 4 at the moment. As the sun goes down, the moisture will come out of the clay here. We will be in for a couple of lanes of racing, I'm sure, with the bottom slicked off like that. The guys will most certainly be running upstairs. And let me tell you, Beachlands gets wild when there's 2 lanes of racing. So Steve Wright just consolidating this one, just idling around the bottom of the racetrack for points. Anderson gassing it up. He'll be learning valuable lessons about the state of the racetrack and the slick here. As will Stronach in the 21. Relative newcomer to sprint car racing. Youth Saloons on the dummy grid. They've been sat there for a while. There's Anderson. Again, just consolidating this one. A heat race win is a heat race win, and he's a hard racer. He'll be looking to do well in the feature tonight from group number 2. He's had a troubled couple of shows of late, has Matthew Anderson, chasing a misfire on that car. And last time out, the thing wouldn't take fire at all. Replace the electrics on it. New magneto, of course. Not many electrics on these cars. They run a mag, no battery. Stronach there in the 21, the Tricky Mouse 21T machine. She'll be learning some valuable lessons about a slick racetrack. No cars around her. She'll be focusing hard, learning all she can. Throttle control, the news of the day at the moment. So Matthew Anderson, the accountant, runs to the white flag, 1 to go. And one of the strangest sprint car heat races I've called. Took 4 or 5 goes to get this thing green. And there's way more cars on the infield than on the racetrack. Matthew Anderson, pay him off, folks. The win's a win. He got there. And he'll bank the points. He'll look to do well in the feature race later on, of course. 1 more round of heat races to go. Stronach rolls through. Steve Wright will take a hard-earned third after early contact. 3 laps down, of course. So Matthew Anderson, the 16T machine, Manifi Trucking, Penrite Oils on that car. Group 2, Heat 2 victory for Anderson. Youth Saloons on the dummy grid. Back soon with more here at Beachlands Speedway on the pits.
Build it, make it, fix it, shift it, tow it, stow it, dig it, lift it, mow it, trim it, grind it, chip it. We hire it. Mix it, pour it, smooth it, finish it, saw it, clean it, nail it, polish it. 0800 24/7 rent. We hire it. 0800 24/7 rent. We hire it.
For any powder coating job, no matter the size, Invercargill's powder line can deliver the desired professional finish, specialising in powder coating and thermoplastic coating for any aluminium or steel items. Powder line services are suitable for both domestic and commercial purposes with 2 large ovens on site. Powder line can powder coat anything from mag wheels, car parts, gates, sprint car frames to house flashings, garden seats and aluminium window frames. With 280 colours on site for customers to choose from, we have access to thousands more, which are available by order. Give the friendly office staff a call to book your job in now.
Well, Stephen Taylor due to start off the front of this one. Hasn't made it out the gate, so that's high drama Oscar Harcourt, Josh Buchanan, Connor Rangi will fill the first couple of rows. Ray Bourne, Chester Colvin from 5th and 6th. Fetu Taiwa, who I believe has called it a night with engine issues, or at least startability issues. Caleb Bourne near the back of this one. Ross McKinnell, Jason Scott with that crash damage not out on the racetrack. So Jamie Duff to round out the field in a somewhat depleted field here. Oscar Harcourt from the front. 7 cars on track, but 7 good, fast cars come to the green. Oscar Harcourt. What can he do from the front of this one? Green in the air. Green and racing. Oscar Harcourt gets away early. Look at Rangi. Cuts down underneath him with a slide job into one, and Rangi, he's gone. He's checked out early. Harcourt will do his best to chase. Buchanan looking wild. Chester Colvin looking racy underneath him in the 42 at the southern end of the racetrack. Duffman round the top. Looking for racing room. Had to check up with Colvin. So it's all Rangi out in front. But look at Jamie Duff. Winding that rubber band up at the southern end. Working on Colvin, goes low side, slide job at 3. Gets underneath him, slides up in front of him, the 19 car. So he runs in 4th now with work to do to run down Buchanan, whose car looks a little bit evil off of turn number 2 that time. Buchanan looked good through 3 and 4. Jamie Duff, though, is running him down. Connor Rangi, he's checked out over Oscar Harcourt. 1st and 2nd, look at Rangi go. Right rear on the cushion with good drive. Off the turn. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th. Buchanan slightly overcooked it. Jamie Duff doesn't need a second invitation. One of the hardest races in the country in sprint cars is Jamie Duff. Runs through the slick patch at turn 2. Wipes some momentum out of the 19C car. The Procrete Concut 19C. Back to the lead here. Connor Rangi wings it into 1 and 2. Lap traffic soon to become a factor. Buchanan running in 3rd with Jamie Duff all over him like a cheap suit at the moment. Jamie Duff pressuring the young charger Buchanan. The Henrys, placemakers supported 43. Feature winner here, last time out with this series. Jamie Duff gets a run. Working hard at the moment to make that move. Connor Rangi's now on the lappers. There he is in behind Caleb Bourne, Ray Bourne. Next car up the road. Rangi throws a slider on him. Impressive stuff from the young fella from Nelson. Connor Rangi takes the checkered flag. Wasn't mucking around in lap traffic was Connor Rangi. Oscar Harcourt ran 2nd. Buchanan 3rd, the Duffman 4th, couldn't get that move done. But what about Connor Rangi? Checked out, threw a couple of wicked slide jobs in that one. Best slider of the night actually into 3 to put Caleb Bourne a lap down. So Connor Rangi, the Daltons Collision Centre supported 57N car from Nelson. One to watch tonight. We've got a feature final coming up. 20 laps the distance. Will it be Rangi? Will it be Duff? What about Stephen Taylor, who's going to have some cars to pass, and that 20 lapper later on? That'll be intense. Josh Buchanan did well to hold Jamie Duff.
Kia ora team, Kelly here from First Space Recruitment. Here I just want to do a plug or a shout out to Science Solutions. They've done this board for us here at First Space. They've also done some cars for us. They've done fantastic work. Communication is great. Highly recommend them. So Science Solutions, head on down and see them today.
It's action for the whole family. With 23 tracks around New Zealand, there is no better way to spend your weekends than at a Speedway New Zealand track.
Here they come to the start-finish line again.
There's something for the whole family. Sprint cars, saloons, stock cars, sidecars, midgets, and much, much more. Pack up the family and make a trip to adrenaline-filled, action-packed bashes and crashes that only Speedway can deliver. Visit www.speedway.co.nz to find out the track nearest to you. Speedway, it's our summer thing.
Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series, the final heat race of the night. Things will be well and truly heating up. Next time the sprint cars are on the racetrack, after this will be the 20-lap feature final. Sevrite and Horrell, front row of this one, from Steve Jr. in the 15, Stronach in the 21. The accountant, Matthew Anderson, shares the third row with Hayden Johnson, who suffered some wing damage in the previous heat race. Andy Erskine from the inside of the following row, not out on racetrack. Jaden Dodge is out there in the 7 car. And Brent Collins rounds out the field on debut here at Beachlands Speedway and Sprint Cars. Bones Collins, the 78. Lights go down. Steve Jr., Paul Horrell share the front row. Anderson, Stronach the second, Dodge and Johnson the third row. Jaden Dodge in that 7. Comfortable Heat 1 winner for this group. Green and racing. Paul Horrell gets away nicely in the 33 car. So Horrell leads the field down the back chute. Jaden Dodge into 4th position. Raced hard on Matthew Anderson. Lap 1, it's Horrell from Duff Jr. Stronach, Dodge looking for racing room. Jaden Dodge charging down the back chute, searching for a lane, goes low side. Much on down there. Go upstairs. Try and find some play. Gets a good run on Stronach down the back straight. Thought about a big slider at 3. Here's Dodge again. He goes upstairs at 1 and 2. Finding good drive up there. Just needs to convert at the other end. Meanwhile, it's Horrell and the gas man, Steve Jr. running in second. Oh, Horrell spun it. Horrell spun out of the lead. Keeps it fired. Will rejoin in 5th position. Impeded Jaden Dodge's run. Horrell spun at the other end of the racetrack. And he'll stall at that end. We may stay green. He's under the pole line. Yellows are on. So Paul Horrell leading the way. Overcooked the 410 at turn number 1 and 2. Kept the thing fired and mobile. But 2 spins in the 1 lap. Matthew Anderson in 3rd. Jaden Dodge sitting in behind Collins. We see the pits replay of Horrell. Just didn't quite choose the perfect line at the northern end of the racetrack. So Steve Duff Jr. from Shannara, Stronach, Matthew Anderson, Collins, Dodge in the 7, looking to move forward. Green racing again. Steve Jr. leads the way into 1 and 2. Jaden Dodge making light work of Collins. Jumped the cushion though off of turn number 2. Matthew Anderson now working low side on Stronach. Steve Junior's 15 car hooked up at this point, the Concut 15C. He's found a good groove a little bit higher on the racetrack. Dodge is also now running up there. Matthew Anderson slides across the nose as Stronach spins. Keeps it fired. So we'll stay green. Steve Junior leading the way from Dodge now. Stronach running in third. Matthew Anderson in recovery mode after the spin. It's Hayden Johnson with the replacement wing on the top of that 28 machine. Severite's come to the infield. Something going on there with John Severite's 14 car. Steve Junior in the 15. Quick time of 14.9. That's motoring on a challenging track at the moment. Ripping the lip into the lappers. With one lap to run, white flag is out, so Steve Junior. Stephen Duff Jr. with 3 and 4. He'll drive to the flag in the 15 car. The gas man, Steve Duff Jr. takes heat number 3. Jaden Dodge ran second. We're waiting for Stronach in third. I believe Collins ran fourth. Then Anderson, Johnson, and Horrell round out the field with Severite on the infield. So Stephen Duff Jr., the gas man in the Concut 15C, gets the job done for heat number 3, Group 2. The Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series here at Beachlands Speedway.
Are you building a new commercial business or home? Or is it time that your existing premises had a repaint anywhere in the South Island? Then Anderton Decorators have you covered. From floor to ceiling, wall to roof, Anderton Decorators offer the latest techniques, equipment and technology to make even the hardest tasks seem simple. Anderton Decorators also has the expert team to take the frustration out of your next project. Call Shane today on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators. We have you covered.
Well, here we go, folks. Sprint car feature race. Ross McKinnell, Josh Buchanan will share the front row. If McKinnell is out there in the 96, he did get upside down earlier in the night. Connor Rangi, Chester Colvin from 3rd and 4th. The Duff man, Jamie Duff from P5. Caleb Bourne, the Mopar powered 59C machine from P7. Mr. Excitement, Stephen Taylor, the 9N car. Ray Bourne and another Mopar in the 95. Then we have the young fella Oscar Harcourt from P9. Nobody on 10. Matthew Anderson, Shannara Stronach, top point scorers from Group 2. Then we have Jaden Dodge, Steve Duff Jr., the gas man, with a lot of work to do from P14. Andy Erskine next on the grid again. Not sure if he's out on the racetrack. Paul Horrell in the 33T. Hayden Johnson, the young fella from Cromwell in the 28T. Then Bones Collins on debut, the 78T machine. 20 laps the distance. Will it go flag to flag? Or will we have a car park like we did in that earlier heat race? The lights are now down. Front row. McKinnell, Buchanan, with talent all the way through it. Green and racing now, here we go, Josh Buchanan to the outside, and the early lead, Josh Buchanan, the 43 overcooks it, there's a car park immediately at turn number 2, Duff's in it, Dodge is in it. Taylor got through, yellows are on, obviously. Well, lucky not to get upside down, so there could well be damage on Dodge's car also. See it once more, Buchanan just rotated on the slick track. Chester Colvin finished him off. So there could well be steering damage on Colvin's car. And here's why Buchanan spun. There was a log jam. Dodge had nowhere to go, run over the back of Anderson. Did some damage in that number 7T race car. Buchanan on the hook to the infield. So that's unfortunate. Pay him off, folks. Feature winner last time out here at Beachlands Speedway. Lights go down. 20 laps ahead of this field. For the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series, about to go green. Racing now. Oh, Chester Colvin rode a wheel. Colvin got over the right rear of McKinnell. That was almost disaster. Ray Bourne ripping around the outside. Look at Ray Bourne now, too wide with Connor Rangi. As they split McKinnell down at 3 and 4, Ray Bourne is on an absolute mission here. The 95C car drove a stunning line through turns 1 and 2 on the opening lap, past multiple cars. Rangi's got something for him. Connor Rangi giving chase. Stephen Taylor sitting back there in 3rd position. The leading pair racing hard. What about the battle down through the field? Harcourt, Duff Jr. Horrell's gone around. Horrell spun at turn 3 and 4. The yellows will come on. And we're in for a long one here at Beachlands Speedway. Ray Bourne, an absolute rip snorter of a start round the outside of 1 and 2 on the opening lap. 95C of Ray Bourne leads them to green, racing again. As Ray Bourne set sail, Rangi and Taylor fighting over second at the moment. Stephen Taylor threw it on, down at 1 and 2. Rangi though, giving chase. That's where the driver's up high on the racetrack. Look at Rangi now, searching for real estate in behind Ray Bourne. The track is well and truly slicked off. Make no mistake, the groove will move upstairs and we'll get sliders for the lead of this one with Rangi. One of the most aggressive sprint car racers in the country. Connor Rangi, slide job at turn number 3. Slides across the nose of Bourne. Checks him up. What can Bourne do? Front wing damage as Rangi slid across the nose. That could be it. Ray Bourne's car will be affected with front downforce loss for sure on the Avon car. Connor Rangi, aggressive move off the end of the back chute. Stephen Taylor struggling a little bit for drive traction in the 9N car. Lap traffic could well become a factor in this one. Connor Rangi now. Already on to Hayden Johnson. Rangi will be aggressive through traffic. Here's Stronach and Duff Jr. on screen. Ray Bourne runs in second. Rangi on a tear. He's got around Johnson. Set sail down the back chute. Connor Rangi with the best part of the back straight now. Over Ray Bourne, who leads Stephen Taylor. Rangi's done a 15 dead on a slick track here, folks. That's pace. Stephen Taylor now sends one in, slide job on Ray Bourne, gets underneath him. So Stephen Taylor now into second. Connor Rangi battling a little bit in the lappers down the back chute. Big slider from Connor Rangi, across the nose of Bones Collins. That's the move off the end of the back chute. And Connor Rangi will use that to good effect to get through this field. Stephen Taylor's begin to close him down a little bit. We're on lap 11, 20 laps the distance with it all to play out. Connor Rangi a little bit checked up and behind Paul Horrell now. These are 3 lap cars ahead of our race leader. Rangi lost a lot of momentum. He's digging around the bottom of the racetrack. Stephen Taylor senses one. He can see the leader up the road. Taylor needs to get around Collins. And he'll do so off the back straight. Big slider from Stephen Taylor on the lap car. So Rangi working on the back of the Manefi Trucking. Matthew Anderson, the accountant, goes a lap down. Rangi, big slide job off the end of the back straight. Stephen Taylor battling to get through on Horrell. That could be what he needed, folks. Rangi has got a couple of lappers between he and Taylor. Here's Taylor. Huge slide job off the end of the back chute to get underneath Matthew Anderson. But the laps are running out, 5 to run. Taylor, he'll get a drive off 2. He'll throw one on McKinnell. Off he goes. So no lappers between Rangi and Taylor now, with 4 laps to run. The difference was the lap traffic, and Rangi was superb. Absolutely cut through them like butter, did Connor Rangi, and he continues to do so. Closing in on the gas man, Duff Jr. Wow, drama, Rayborn, and I believe Duff Jr. parked at 3 and 4. We're going to have 3 laps to run with no cars between Connor Rangi and Stephen Taylor. This will get good real quick, folks, with the track the way it is off the end of the back chute. Connor Rangi, the CR Motorsport heavy diesel 57 car from Nelson, another Nelson contracted car of Stephen Taylor. This man running in second, the Miles commercial car. We see the pits replay. It was Ray Bourne and the gas man Steve Jr. coming a cropper down at turn number 3. Stephen Taylor hunting in second. Rangi goes, Taylor goes with him. And it's on here, folks, at Beachlands Speedway. Rangi gets a good run through 1 and 2. Opens up 3 or 4 car lengths. Taylor goes hunting for real estate. What can the 9 car throw? And the young charger Connor Rangi, 1 to run. Last time around Beachlands Speedway. Harcourt's rolled to a stop. The yellows need to come on as they run to the checkered. That's scary. And we didn't quite get there, folks. Harcourt went terminal as we run to the flag. So will we have a green-white checkered situation here? Stephen Taylor gets another crack. Just run a little bit deep at 3 and 4. Rangi did a perfect job, got away nicely. Skipped away to a 5 or 6 car length lead. As the field will stream through, Harcourt will take a push to the infield. It's a shame, pay him off, folks. The 7C machine of Oscar Harcourt, the Value Cars Warehouse machine. He's been very, very strong tonight. So plenty of heavy hitters on the infield. 2 of the heaviest at the front of this one. There they are on screen, Rangi and Taylor. Oh, the replay. Harcourt slapped the fence hard coming out of 4. Just got out of the groove. The cushion's very powdery at both ends here. As Connor Rangi leads the field to green once more. The Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series putting on a classic here at Beachlands Speedway on the Pits Media. Rangi, Taylor to green. Taylor got away nicely that time. Throws a slider, turn one. This Taylor can't get to him. And that'll be all she wrote. Rangi skips away. Taylor, well, he won't die wondering. That is for certain. White flag this time by for Connor Rangi. Off he goes. The 57M machine. Classy tonight. Stephen Taylor threw all he could. But it's Connor Rangi, the 57N, to the checkers. Taylor second. Chester Colvin runs through. That's your podium. Duff Jr. in a strong fourth after a push start mid-race. But it's all Connor Rangi, and he'll be absolutely pumped for that one, folks. Pay him off. Let him hear you, 1 and 2. A classic sprint car feature race here at Beachlands Speedway for the Civil Construction Southern Sprint Car Series. Connor Rangi led home Stephen Taylor. Let him hear you down that end, folks. Rangi goes searching for somewhere to light the bags up on the 57N. And rightly so. Steering wheel out the side, Kyle Larson style. That's some talent. As the Pits Media will go and do some interviews to finish this live stream, we thank everybody for their attendance in the arena and their attendance online. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Let him hear you one more time.
So, of course, here we are down with the brilliant drive, mate, Connor Rangi. You'll be absolutely pleased by that. Stephen Taylor, though, not too far away, mate.
Yeah, I knew he was there, and I knew that I just had to do 2 perfect laps at the end there and get a good restart because he's good on the start, so I knew he'd be lingering somewhere. But we had a really good car tonight, and we just worked on it and got it really good.
Well, of course, one thing I did notice, I was in there pushing all the buttons and stuff, and you left your best lap to last. Everybody's floating around about the 15s and 16s. That last lap before the last yellow, 14.99. It's not too bad at a track that's obviously pretty slick out there as well, is it?
Yeah, it's really slick out there. Had the wing cranked right back, so but a shitload of fun. Yeah, I mean, the track crew did a pretty good job, really, and yeah, like I said, I just knew I had to put in good laps because I knew Taylor was there somewhere.
Absolutely, mate. So obviously you've been competing quite well in the South Island for the last couple of years and stuff, and good to have somebody like Stephen Taylor come down and give you a bit of a challenge to sort of see where you're at.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a bloody good driver, and he races really hard. Doesn't give you an inch, and that's all good. You know, you just race him the same, and it's good fun.
Absolutely. You got some good sponsors, mate, to look after you. Who looks after you?
Yeah, Heavy Diesel Services, KH Fabrication. The Collision Centre and Dalton's Limited as well. So thanks to all those guys and to my crew and yeah, everyone that helps us. So yeah.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, it's been a pretty awesome night of racing, and mate, at the start of that feature, your car was right up there. Obviously, you rode the back of the 96 car, managed to get away with it. Did you put the fear of living God up you?
Yeah, I kind of thought she was about all over at that stage. If I got away with it, and then I was thinking I'll probably have a flat tyre, but now we're lucky enough, eh? So.
Absolutely, mate. It was an awesome race, so you must be pretty pleased with that. You're footing up with some of these fast boys that are here, and there's a lot of good guys that were behind you as well.
Oh, well, lucky day, eh? You've got to have a few of those. I've had a few bad ones, so it's pretty good.
It's been a pretty rough sort of a season for start for you, but it's sort of all starting to come to fruition now. Motors seem to be a big issue, not just this season, but last season as well, eh?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a problem all the way through, really, but we've got this one here now, and she's going real good, and it actually helps because you can concentrate on racing instead of fixing the car all night, so it makes a big difference, and it goes pretty good, thanks, Gav. So.
Yeah, well, obviously it gives a bit more confidence to the car. You don't have to worry about what's going to be happening under the bonnet. You can just more concentrate what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's good, mate. So good sponsors on the car. Of course, you were our major sponsor for tonight as well. So big thanks to what you do for us and stuff. And so obviously we need to tell you everybody who that major sponsor is, eh?
So thanks Central Southland Excavating and all the boys at home that do all the hard yards. So it makes it possible for me to come away and race the car. So thanks to pit crew and the family and everyone involved really, because without them we ain't coming. So it's as much them as us. So thanks.
All right, and of course you'll be getting into the old Christmas time now at Central Motor Speedway. Is it? Is that what the plan is for the Christmas break?
Well, to be fair, I'm probably going to spend some time fixing two daughters' cars because they didn't have a good a night as what I did. So, we might do that and we'll head up there and see what we can do, eh?
Good stuff, mate. Congratulations, dude. Third spot, nothing to be sneezed at, eh? Okay, so it wouldn't be fair to catch up with the other two without catching up this man. Second spot. Steve, mate, you come from fairly well, down a couple of spots. Really, it could have gone either way, but Conor Rangi just had that wee bit on you in those last couple of laps, eh?
Yeah, he did a really good job. I think I was running a harder tyre and he just kept his composure. He was in the right part of the track. It was so dominant around the middle to top. So I kind of tried to spook him, but he wasn't going to fall for that. Relatively good considering we missed one of our heat races, just got behind in the pits, and those kind of races help you tune on the car. I was probably a bit freer than I would have been. Wasn't quite stuck enough, but I'm happy to come from where we come from.
All right, well, and that's the cause here. What was the problem? Did you just not get out onto the track in time, or was there actually a problem with the car in the pits?
It wasn't a serious problem. It was just to do with our water heater. Dumped a bit of oil out of the fitting, a bit of water out of the fitting, and we had to refill it. So it was just one of those things, a freak thing. But, when you're there and they shut the gates, they're not going to open them back up for you.
Absolutely not. So tell us, we've seen you in the South Island this year. What was the whole gist of that? Is that because you really got nothing to race up in the North Island whilst we've been under these lockdowns and stuff?
It came out of chance last year, really. I ran the Sunshine Classic with Sullivans and Landon, and we kind of put a deal together after that. And the plan was always to do South Island racing, so I think it's worked out like 17 nights here, and it was meant to be the same in the North Island, but obviously that's been pushed back, and we'll just take what we can get. And with the titles being sort of pushed around, it's a bit of a weird season for us, but it's probably my most full-on season to date.
And of course, we had read on your Facebook page that you're starting your Western Springs campaign shortly as well. You'll be pretty pleased, I suppose, to be able to do that because you'll have a wee bit of seat time that these other guys haven't had.
Yeah, a few of them have still had 3 or 4 nights. I know they're running Bay Park tonight. But there's no flies on them. The top guys are good no matter what. Most guys can come out off the cuff, so it's just going to be good to be racing among them again,
Absolutely. Well, let's thank your sponsors, obviously. Who looks after you, mate?
Niche Commercial, Collision Centre, B&T, Sub 5 Security, ME Transport, North City Diesel, just a whole lot of people that, put the effort in. Special thanks to Landon Dawson, Steve Sullivan, Gus, all the offsiders that come along and put the time in, GTR Developments. There's a good list of people that make this stuff possible. So,
first time at Beachlands, was it?
First time, yeah. It was quite a hard one to read, really. I saw the tide was in, and true to form, the track was terror in the first one. Puckered up for a moment there, and then got caught out in the second one. I was too free and was kind of banking on that third heat to get my feet under me, but all in all, I enjoyed it, and the track actually come up pretty racy. Like, we could slide lap cars good, and, those first few laps were pretty sweet among, Ray and Connor and whoever else was around us. I felt bad for Duffy. I really wanted to have a run with him. We haven't had a run together yet properly, so he was just starting in front of me.
All right, mate. Hey, well, thanks very much for making the trek down. Obviously, I've just heard that they're going to add another round of this Southern Sprint Car Series a little bit later on in February here in Dunedin. Is that something you want to come back for and have a chase?
We'll just see how we're going at the time. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, folks. That's it. Thanks very much, mate. Well done on second spot. Good effort, and it wasn't quite good enough. Thank God it didn't go to the North Island. Take it easy. Have yourselves a great Christmas and a very, very good New Year, and we'll see you on the road. Bye for now.